Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spirituality and Business interview series. I am here with the wonderful Saskia Fokkink. Now, Saskia is an intuitive life coach who combines powerful coaching techniques with clairvoyance and energy healing. I'm so happy to have you here with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you for your introduction. I am really honored to be part in this interview series because I love spirituality and I use spirituality in every area of my life, including my business. So I'm really pleased to talk about this topic. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for being here. So first, I'd like to ask you, can you tell us a little bit about your personal spiritual path?
Yeah, so actually, I come from a different background. I used to be a water engineer, working in development projects, traveling the world to all different countries. And at some point in my life, I couldn't find a new project. So I was just trying to get a new job, and it didn't work out. Like all the doors were closed.
Oh my.
And that was a moment in my life that I started to look for something deeper, and I started to try meditation techniques and different ways to go deeper inside, like a journey inside myself. And I discovered that is really a journey that's really so worthwhile that I got more and more motivated and interested to keep going in that direction.
Oh. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. It sounds like that's been quite the journey for you, like a pretty big difference between what you were doing before and what you're doing now. And that's really amazing. So thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, so in what ways have spiritual techniques been the most powerful in your business?
Yeah, so I have been on this spiritual journey of going inwards and using a lot of healing modalities and working with energy. And along this journey, I opened up my clairvoyant abilities. Oh, wow. So it was just like a natural process that happened during that journey. And I found it really interesting. So I started to develop it more and more. And that brought me where I am today, because I'm actually offering clairvoyant readings and clairvoyant healings. So I use that gift or ability to help people really at a deeper level.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Can you tell us a little bit more about your clairvoyant abilities? Because I know that we're not all familiar with it, or maybe we have an idea from like pop culture, movies and that.
Yeah. So I would like to share a little bit, like because clairvoyant is just a name, and it's a bit difficult to describe what is really happening, because you can't understand with your mind what's happening. Oh. So I tend to connect with the person at a deeper level. So you may say, yeah, I connect to your soul, or I connect to your heart's deepest desire, and then information will come. And the way that the information will come is visual, because I'm very visual. So there will be images that shows what's going on. So by sharing these images, the images really speak at a deep level, because when you see it very clearly. So and then so the information comes in the way of images, and the information comes also like the answers or the solutions or the guidance that will just come naturally. So it's a combination, I think, we'd be able to get visual images and like a kind of intuition that guides me where to go in the session and which questions to ask and how to get more information that will be helpful.
Wow, that's really amazing. So again, thank you for opening up to us and sharing that with us today. What are some of the benefits of this kind of session? Like, what are some of the things that you can help people achieve by doing this?
Yeah, I think the most important benefit is to bring issues to the light, because most of the time we are not really aware what's going on at the deeper level. We do many things without thinking about it, without making conscious choices, just by automatic response. Like we we tend to have some kind of patterns that play themselves out in our lives, but we are not aware of that. So it is like making the invisible visible, bring it to the light so you can see what's really going on, and you get to see yourself really clearly. Like, why I keep attracting this same situation again and again, because you are part of that, right? That what you create in your life. So you get to see the situation and yourself very clearly, and by bringing in that awareness, it is very easy to make a different choice. So it's like really becoming aware what's happening and why and how you can change.
Wow, that's really amazing. Thank you again for sharing that with us. That sounds like a very powerful tool. It's something that I've seen as well. Like a lot of times we don't even know what the problem is. And so that this tool can be used to bring up like really the deepest levels is just fantastic. It's great to know that that exists and kind of start seeing how it can really help people. So thank you again.
Yeah, and I also would like to share, because so for example, for me, it's all about our inner well-being, right? I'm not so interested in to predict somebody's future, but I'm more interested in what's going on right now, why you're not feeling good, why you feel stuck, and to see what you can do differently. So it is like, the sessions are more to empower you to make new choices. They are not like to give you all the answers, but it's more like to find your own answers. And I believe, because I have been on a really deep transformational journey myself, so I've really gone deep inside myself. So I tend to pick up also really the issues on a deep level, because I've been there. So it's easier for me to access that and to recognize that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also really valuable to have someone who's been on that journey and gone to the deep levels, because you know what it's like, so you can help people on their own journeys. That's really very powerful.
I believe that my own journey allows me to see much more, because otherwise it's just theory. But if it's your own personal experience, you know exactly what's going on and what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you. So I know that that the clairvoyance is like the biggest technique that you use in your business, because that's what you're doing now. You offer the clairvoyant sessions. Aside from that, you're offering the sessions. How has it impacted your business, and like how has it made it growing your business different to more mainstream business advice? Like, have you noticed any differences there?
I believe, because this is also like, apart from offering my clairvoyant sessions, I also offer like more coaching and like more long-term support, like to really be able to make these changes in your life. And for me, it's really like the most important thing that people can learn is to follow their heart and their intuition, and not the mind that is talking very loud but doesn't always have the best ideas. So I find that in the society, the mind-based thinking is very dominant. So a lot of marketing techniques are also like focused to that, because that's the way people think, and that's what people want to hear. But what the heart want to hear, or what the soul want to hear, is actually not that. The soul just wants to be at peace in this moment.
Absolutely.
And to share the love in this moment. So I believe that by sharing this message, many times the people can't really understand with the mind what's going on, but somewhere they feel like, hey, they feel that it resonates. So it's not so much about sharing the smart words that sound good, but more like we really come from that heart-based space yourself, so people can feel that.
Yeah.
So I feel like the way of connecting with people is a bit different, and because you attract that what you share, right? If you share on all the mind strategies, you will attract people that want that. So if you work from the heart, it's not so logical, or it's not so how to say, predictable, but there's much more power there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that with us. I know that this is something that a lot of people, especially spiritual entrepreneurs, kind of struggle with. They feel like they have to use the more traditional marketing strategies. So could you give us some examples of how you are able to use the more heart-based strategies and how you've been able to grow your business using the more spiritual strategies?
Yeah, for example, because if you even I have also noticed that a lot of people who do spiritual work, including me, it's not so easy to put into words what exactly you do, because it's not about the words. Actually, this goes beyond words, right? Because you work at a completely different level.
Yeah.
So if you just try to put it into nice words, nobody will have a clue what you talk about. So instead of that, it's just, for example, I feel that sharing on video is much more powerful than putting nice words. And just, it doesn't really even matter what you say, because it's not about the words that you speak, but it's about the energy that you're vibrating. So, for example, this is just an example that comes to mind now, because one time I read about another spiritual teacher, and she needed to do a presentation in a foreign country. Oh, wow. And something went wrong with the translation technique.
Oh, goodness.
Because the people were supposed to hear the translation and follow along, but something went wrong. So she decided, you know what, I'm just going to talk in my language, and you'll just listen with your heart. So all the people didn't understand the word that she was sharing, but they could feel the message. So this is what it's about. It's not about the words. It's about what your heart is radiating out, and to tune into that.
Yeah, wow, that's a really powerful story. Seriously, thank you for sharing that with us, because that does really kind of twist the way that we've been taught to do marketing. You know, we've been taught to really focus on the words, and that story about how the message resonated beyond language, that's so powerful, and I think is really going to help people who are in this moment kind of struggling with that, with feeling like they have to use the more mainstream methods.
Yeah, and I also believe, like, because the words do not really matter, right? You can say the perfect, beautiful words, but if you are not in that space, the words will not connect. And if you use the same words, but you are in that space, they will connect. Because the connection doesn't come from the words. So it's the same issue, but so don't worry too much about which words to say or not to say. It's not really about that.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned using video more than words necessarily. Are there any particular, like, a lot of people in business right now talk about social media. Have you found like using video on social media has worked for you? What kind of strategy have you used to be able to bring that video and connect with people?
Yeah, so I am on Facebook. So I noticed that when you say the same message in the video or the same message, you may also write a post, right? But the same message connects much better on the video. This is because the same thing that we were sharing, right? Because even there may be some energy behind the words that you write, but they're not so strong as when you really show up and show what's going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Okay. Do you have any other advice for people who are considering like bringing spirituality into their business, or for spiritual people who are wanting to grow their business?
Yeah, for me, it's very related, right? Because I bring the spirituality into everything that I do. Like, my spiritual growth is my main goal in my life. So whatever comes, my business or my other challenges in life or my family, whatever, I always want to grow spiritually. So it's not so much that it's separated, it goes together. And I believe even if you don't have a spiritual business, but you can still integrate spiritual components within your business. And so this is really coming from your heart. Yeah. It doesn't matter what exactly you do, but like to bring in different qualities and bring in what really matters to you. So yeah, I think that it doesn't really so matter if you have the spiritual business or not, but let that be your guiding star, what comes from the heart, and let that show you the way.
Yeah, amazing, thank you. While we were getting ready for this interview, one of the things that you mentioned is asking for guidance from the angels to build your business. Is that something that you've done in the past? Like, can you talk to us a little bit about how we can do that and how it can benefit our business?
Yeah, and this is very nice that you ask it. And I believe actually that accessing the angel is very simple. And sometimes we tend to complicate the things a lot, right? Like we think, oh, when we connect with the angels, we have to be in a high energy, and we have to calm our mind, and we have to be in a specific place, and we do all that. But we can do it, but we can also just be simple. Say, hello, angels, I want some guidance. And it's really that simple. And so I believe, like, what is more important than to do it all in the right way, to just be real and just ask what you really want instead of pretending like I want the best answer for the whole world and blah, blah, blah. But just be real, just be you, just talk like as a real person, right? And the angels are very accessible. They are there for everybody. Most people may know about it or may not know about it. We don't have the habit to ask for that higher support that's there. So, and this is also one of the things that anybody can access. You don't need to be like on a spiritual path. You can just say, hello, angels, I would like some help today. And the angels are also really about, I think that what matters most is that you feel good in this moment, so you can get in your power in this moment and act from that. So it's not so much about giving us the things that the mind thinks that we need, right? It's more like, how can I be at peace now? And how can I get back to my heart space now and my power now and move from that? So, and it's very powerful, because when you do that, everything starts to change.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for example, I use my angel cards. I'll just like draw angel cards and see what the message my angels have for me. And it's always like exactly on point, like just what you need. So it's quite nice.
Oh, beautiful. That's lovely. And I really liked what you said about like just ask for what you want, because I know that a lot of people, we have this idea of spirituality as this very like solemn thing where you have to just be really like, oh, I want world peace. And
yeah, so I feel there is more response if your request is sincere, right? If you don't pretend that you want all these things, but yeah, it's just like these ideas that we have, we should want this. What do you really want? You know, just become more honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you want, so that's what your answer will come for.
Oh wow, I don't think I've ever heard that like you get more of a response when you're sincere, but I love that way of looking at it and praising it.
Yeah. So I also created a meditation, like a guided meditation, where you can connect to your angels. It's a very short meditation. And it just helps you to release some of the blockages that you may have, that you think that doesn't allow you to connect with the angels. So you can hear for yourself the answers and the solutions and the messages that the angels have for you. So it's quite, it's an easy way to connect. So I also would like to make, like, you know, the access to the angels easy and simple and available to everybody, because I know it's very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that's something that we talked about, that one of your goals is to make access to the angels available for everyone. That's a really beautiful goal. And the guided meditation is a great way of doing that. And if you're interested in the guided meditation, the link to that is underneath here, so you can find that very easily. And can you tell us just a little bit more about the guided meditation, just kind of what it's like. And I know for some of the people watching this, have never done a guided meditation before, or have never done work with the angels before, and they may have a little bit of, oh, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, sure. I could share about that. So a guided meditation is actually something that you can listen to and that you can just relax and let it in. So you don't need to do anything actively. It is guided. So I will be sharing words on the meditation, and you just listen and follow. And apart from the words, because this is also a little bit what we were talking about, right? So I tap into the energy of the angels. So the energy of the angels is also in the meditation. So in whatever way you can let that energy in, it will just happen naturally. You don't need to do anything to get it. It's just like you sit, you relax, you listen, you follow along, and everything will happen by itself. So you just follow the instructions on the meditation. I will tell you what will happen. I'll call on Archangel Michael to cut some cords, so you'll be more open to receive. And then you can ask your own question, and the angel will give their answer in their own way, that it will be easy for you to understand what it means.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That sounds like a very powerful journey. It's fantastic that you're offering this for free. And again, that download is available, and the link to it is underneath this video. So make sure that you do check that out. All right. So thank you so much for being here today, Saskia. Is there anything else?
It was my pleasure. Thank you also.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us before we go?
Yeah, don't forget to drop from the head to the heart. This is the best thing that you can do any day, anytime.
Yeah, and by that you mean make choices from the heart rather than getting all stuck in your thoughts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, beautiful. It's a very simple way of putting it, very easy to remember that. So thank you so much for taking the time to share all of that with us today, and thank you to everyone for watching this and for taking the time to learn more about clairvoyance and the angels and how we can use these tools in our everyday life and in our businesses. So yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic having you.
Thank you.